So today we're going to work on how to draw a monster truck and a Ferrari. My nephews watched my first video and they decided that one of them wanted me to draw a truck and the other one wanted me to draw a Ferrari. So we're going to combine the two and make a monster Ferrari. And I'm going to use a black pen this time instead of a pencil. Maybe it'll show up better, be easier to see. And for coloring, I like to use color pencils, crayons if you want, whatever you want to get out to use. I prefer color pencils, crayons. I'll use even pens, coloring pens, you know, Crayola, that kind of stuff. It all works. So we're going to start off about this far up the page. We're going to draw the back of the car. It's kind of got a little shape like that. And then a little straight line, come out and back in. From here, and by the way, Ferraris aren't that easy to draw. There's a lot of lines and they're really sleek and smooth. So what I kind of like to do is start my back piece and my front piece so I know how big it's going to be. The front piece is much pointier. So it's going to be somewhere in here. And it's going to kind of come up with like a little tiny half moon and then back down again. That's basically the hood area. Now the Ferrari's got a funny opening in the mouth. It actually kind of looks like a smile. It comes back toward you and then down and curves again, kind of like a little fish or something right there. And then it curves one more time back down like that. Really funny looking. And add one more line about halfway in the little mouth here into the front, something like that. So from there, do a straight line from here to about here. And then we'll go back to the back. And the back is going to start a little higher and then work its way down this way. So we'll start here, go up just a little bit, and back down, something like that. I'm telling you, it's complicated, but you should be able to do this. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay, so from there, we're going to connect these two pieces right here. So you could start on this side, or you could start on this side. I think I'm going to start over here. And again, you're going to go up a little bit, and then back down, and up, like that. Don't worry if it's not perfect. Mine's never perfect. It's not perfect ever. It's just fun. See, and then let's make the rest of the bottom of the car before we get to the roof. The roof is kind of crazy. This piece here does a little one of these and back up. And then it goes up and then back down. Crazy shapes, I know, but when we get to the end, you'll be able to see that's a Ferrari. And start in this corner right here and go forward and back down. All right, this is part of the door. So now we're going to draw the side glass. It's kind of a small bubble shape right here. I'm going to start right about where this little mess up was right here that I did. You're not going to go very high. You're going to go up and then down and keep it all the way back to there. All right, now for the front windshield, I think I'm going to start right about here, and I'm going to follow my other line really closely. Keep them together really close like this. This is what they call the A-pillar, or it's like the front of the windshield, but it holds the windshield in. And then the rest of the windshield is going to come all the way up to this point right here. So you're going to start here and go all the way up like that. All right, now for the back and the roof, I think I'll start right here. And again, you're going to follow really closely all the way about halfway into the trunk area. Start here, all the way back down to there. And there's a little tiny window from the side, and that is somewhere about here. Put a little tiny line there, and then follow that back to the middle of that. That's your back window. And then the side of it has the main window where the door opens, and then a little back window. And all that is a little line about like that. And then, let's see, we're going to do our wheel arches. These are big half circles. And we're going to find a point. Let's see, I'm going to start here, I'm going to go up, and I'm going to come just in front of this piece. So I'll probably stop right about there, and you can make a little dot like that, make it easy. And then coming from the back to the front, we want it to be about the same length. So a little trick that I do is I take my pen and I find something on there that's about the same width like the cap, and I'll move it over here and I'll go, okay, it's about that wide. Make a dot there. So that way it keeps them about the same. And then I want to go the height of the arch somewhere about there and there. So draw yourself, we could do a quarter circle. So you just go up and arch in, hit your dot, and then start here again and come back down to this dot. Same thing with the back. Start here, curve your way up to this dot, and then go the rest of the way down to that dot, doing an arch. And now the Ferrari's got a funny little portion on the bottom of the car here. This section goes down just a teeny bit further than this one. It comes forward about that far, then it curves up, and then it comes all the way across to about here. It's lower than that. So then you connect the two. It's complicated, but I don't think it's too difficult when you go slowly. The front end needs a couple more parts. There's a piece that's black on the car that comes down, teeny little line, comes forward just past this piece here, and then it connects like that. So we got our main car done. Got to have a door to get in and out, so just draw a couple lines. Start here, go toward the bottom. And then this is where the back of the door is here, so you could start here. And on the Ferrari, the line kind of goes back a little bit towards this piece, and then down. I just realized that this section right here should be back a little further on my drawing, but it doesn't really matter. You kind of get the idea. And the last piece for the body is there's one more line that connects from here to that little line we just drew right there. Just go straight back with that, like that. Now, every good Ferrari needs a wing. So a wing is kind of like a shark's fin. Start here, make a little point up, and then come back, kind of like a little shark fin like to it. All right, Ferrari's done. Now, for the monster truck part, these are going to be some big circles. So go nice and slow. This is a little trick I've learned, to take your hand when you're holding your pencil or pen, and before you touch the paper, and you don't have to push too hard, make a motion like this. It's kind of like a practice. Like I'm going to go somewhere right in here. And it's not going to be a perfect circle. Like I said, they never are perfect. Okay? Now I like to start right about here. And I want the tire to go up into this area just a little bit. something like that. The same thing with the back. Start right about here. There you go. My circles aren't perfect, but it's going to look like a monster truck anyway. The next thing I like to do is make a dot right about in the middle on both wheels, tires. About like that. That gives me kind of a center point for my rim that I'm going to draw in here. So when you're drawing your wheel, it's probably half the size of the tire. So start about somewhere like this. Like that. And then on a monster truck, there's another line, another part of the rim just inside of this one. So all you have to do is kind of follow along that line, keeping it on the inside, nice and slow, about like that. Do it again over here. Like that. This is just an outer part of the rim, or a bead lock they call it, keeps the tires on the truck better. So now that we got those done, the next step is to draw where the lug nuts go inside of here. So what I like to do is start at the top, draw a little circle, and then go right to the bottom and draw another circle. Kind of like you're doing a clock. Now I'll go to the right and do one, right in the middle, and to the left. And then I'm going to add 4 more in the spaces that are open. So one here, one here, one there, and one there. Now I'm going to go over to the front and do the same thing. Start in the middle of the top, then go to the bottom, left, and then right. And now the empty spaces get the same thing. Sweet. All right, one more circle inside of these wheels and we're done. So where this little center dot is, you're going to do one about halfway between the dot and your lug nut. About something like that. Now this dot I didn't make in the center, so it's going to look a little funny, but I'm going to put another dot right here and then go around it. So I messed that up a little bit. You know what? It's art. You can mess things up and then you can just go with it. So why don't I just add a couple more dots in the middle just for fun. Okay, almost done. So now that we got our big tires and our Ferrari, monster trucks have exhaust pipes that come out of the engine right about this area. So I'm going to draw 4 little egg shapes right here, right next to each other, about like that. And then the tubes from them will come down in here at a little bit of angle. Like that. And then draw the letter U. You guys know what a U looks like. Draw that at the bottom of these shapes. Like that. Now you have where the flames come out. Next thing I like to do is from this bottom corner of these flames, I'm going to draw a line out about that far and make like a little box right here with some funny angles. You go straight down, kind of like a stop sign. We're going to go down at an angle, flat, up at an angle, and then flat, something like that. This is where your suspension, the little bars that come out to the wheels, that's where it's going to tie together. So from this corner, I want to go to the wheel and make another line following it straight to the tire, and then the same thing on the other side. From this corner, come out and give it a little space and then follow that line. Now we got some of our suspension going. You could do whatever you want in here as far as suspension goes. I'm just gonna do a few more bars, like one down to this corner like this, something like that. And you can see there probably should be one right behind there, so I'll draw a tiny little line and pretend you're gonna line it up with this corner right here and do another line. And then maybe another one about here. And then on this side, I'll pretend that I'm lining it up with this one. See, there's a little space right there we need to fill. Boom, one right there, a little piece right there like that. That looks pretty good. Now we're gonna draw the shocks. And that's what keeps this thing, so when it jumps and stuff, that it lands really good. So on this side, we'll start in the front, about somewhere in this area. Do a straight line down to the tire, just like that. Now do another one next to it, about that far away. Give a little teeny bit of space right there, and then make this outside line here the same as this, so you've got two wide ones and then one narrow one in the middle. And then we'll connect those by putting an upside down U like this and like that. Okay, that kind of looks like the shock, and then there's usually like coil springs or something on them. So to do that, start in this corner and go downward and make a line. Make another line, another line, another line. That kind of looks like a spring. And do the same thing over here. Doesn't matter how many lines you have, there's lots of springs. The last part of the shock is where it connects to the frame. We're going to do a little circle right on top like this. Okay, and now we need to draw the bar that connects those shocks to the roll cage underneath. And what I like to do is, just like we did with these wheel arches, we'll start at this corner. We'll draw a half circle, quarter circle coming down to the tire like this. And then the same thing on this side. And then connect the two right across the top like this. And that looks like the roll bar piece that's connected to. And we take the same thing here and move it back over here. So somewhere about there. Maybe make that shock about that wide. A little bit of a space, you move closer. And then go back to the same width as this one here. Like that. And then we're going to do two upside down U's on the top. And then we're going to do our lines at an angle. On both sides. And our two little circles on the top of it. Almost done. So now we take and we start right next to this little circle and draw a line, half or a quarter circle back down to the tire. Go to this side, do the same thing, and now connect them in the middle. I think that looks pretty good. Monster truck Ferrari. And you could color it whatever kind of color you want. Typically, I like to use red because Ferraris are typically red. So I'll get out my red pen and I'm going to color the roof. In red. Wherever my glass is, I'm going to leave empty for now. Color my wing in red. Color this body panel in red. Color this whole section in red. You don't have to go fast at this. You could take your time coloring. You could just do whatever colors you want to do. This is just how I'm picking to do it. And markers go really fast. Markers go faster than color pencils, and they cover really, really well. This section is actually red too, right in here. The lower part of the door is red. Typically when I'm coloring side to side, I hold my hand flat and straight. I rest my hand on the table and I do a side to side motion, but then I change my whole arm and elbow and everything to get this angle, and then I don't color outside the line this way. And then I just go really slow next to the line on that side because it has a weird little curve. So I'll change my arm direction again and do kind of long strokes like this. For this one, you can go straight if you want, or you can go curved. Doesn't really matter, whatever you're comfortable with. Fill it all in. Last panel back here, whole bunch of red. You definitely don't have to color as fast as I do. I've been coloring for a long time. Started off in coloring books. When I was a kid, they made a coloring book for Hot Wheels. I think they still might, but man, I loved those. I'd get them for Christmas and birthdays and stuff like that, and I would just color. And actually what I really like to do was trace the cars. I'd get a piece of tracing paper. It's a really thin piece of paper, and I'd stick it over the top of the page and I'd trace it all out, because once you color in a coloring book, that page is all done. You can't do it again. So I'd pick my favorite cars and I'd trace them all out, and then I could color it again another time. And it kind of is what helped me learn to draw cars, tracing those cars. The more you do it, and there's nothing wrong with tracing. In fact, a lot of professional artists out there have to trace some things to be able to get it to look just right. And so there's nothing wrong with that at all. So so I would just do that all the time and got really good at it. I think I'll make my shocks red too. And by the way, I'm just using a regular old piece of printer paper, just 8.5 by 11. You can use whatever kind of paper you want. If you've got lined paper from your binder, that's fine too. It doesn't matter. You can see it just as well. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back with my black pen, because this area is black on a Ferrari. This area is black on a Ferrari, and this area is black on a Ferrari, and this area. Those are all black. And you can make your windows black if you want, or you can leave them clear. I like to make mine black, but I think I'll just do that on the front window and the back window this time. I'll just color that in black there. Because if I color the whole side window in black, you're not going to see this little piece right here. So I'll leave that part open. Let's see, what else? What other colors? Let's go back with our red and maybe do our roll cage pieces in red too. Maybe this little box here. Something like that. All right, now the last thing is the wheels and the tubes. Tubes are typically kind of like they're like a silver or a gray color. So if you have a gray color pencil or a silver one or a gray crayon or silver one, I would use one of those. I've got a gray colored pen, so I'm going to use gray in here. And I'm only going to do like this far in the middle because they're actually round. Each tube here is round. So if I want to do the illusion that it's round, I might just color like a little U shape in there like this. Kind of make it look like it's round like that. And then inside the tubes is dark. You can't really see well in there, so I might color that whole thing in gray. Something like that. Now our wheels, we could pick whatever kind of color we want. You could do the wheels with this little ring right here in red if you want, or the center part in red, or gray. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do gray for the middle of the wheel. Wish my gray was a little lighter. This is kind of dark gray, but it's what I got. I color nice and slow right around the little lug nuts so I don't go all over the top of them. Something like that there. And really, I'm a messy colorer. I don't color in every single place because then it would take me a long time and your videos would be like an hour and a half long and you'd probably go to sleep by then. So really, I'm just doing this for effect. You could take however long you want to color the wheels. You can get them just perfect if you want. Now I'm going to go back to my red and I'm going to just fill in this area right here. All right. Now there's a lot of black that's going to go on these wheels, or these tires, sorry. So you could be coloring for a long time. If you've got a really thick pen or color crayons that goes pretty fast, I've got a really thick black pen, so I think I'm going to try to use that to make it go faster. Kind of like a Sharpie. However, I would never ever suggest using a Sharpie unless your parents know for sure that you're using one, because Sharpie can get on places and you can't get it off, like your body and furniture and things like that. So I would recommend not using a Sharpie unless you're older and your parents know. So the safest thing to use is probably crayons or color pencils, or maybe even a Crayola washable marker. That way if you get it on stuff, then you're still kind of safe and you don't get in trouble. And I just make curvy kind of motions. Draw it in a curve. My pen's running out, I think, so it looks kind of thin. So something like that. All right, that's it. That's our monster truck Ferrari. Now, I like doing lettering a lot when I was a kid. I like to write the names of stuff on there. You don't have to do that. You could stop right now. But I think I'm going to name this something fun, like Monster Truck Ferrari. Monster Ferrari. Monsterari. I think that's what I'm going to go with. So I'll do some really big letters for monster and make them look kind of crazy. Like on my M, I might do something like that. And my O over here. And my N, swing way down and way back up like that. And then my S is going to kind of be really sharp like lightning. Like that. Hopefully I spell this right, because that wouldn't be good. T, I think I'm going to do a lowercase e, but I'm going to make it like a really big angle on part of the E. It'll go down like this and then make my half moon shape. So it's kind of facing up. And then my last letter is my R in monster, and then I'll do an uppercase R just for fun. This isn't like you're writing a paper for school. This is just drawing on your, just doing lettering on your drawing. So now I got the word monster, and Ferrari is spelled, you know, with F-E-R-R-A-R-I, but I don't want to use the F. I'm just going to use the A-R-R-A-R-E-R-R-A. So monster, and then we'll do the E, maybe we'll do a dash. And I'll do a capital E this time. Really big. Make an R next to it. Something like that. And then a wacky R over here, pointing down. And then an A. All kinds of crazy directions and stuff. My last R, maybe looking up. And the last letter is an I, capital I, like this. Monsterari. That'll be like the latest monster truck out there. I'll take a brand new Ferrari and they'll put it on a monster truck. That'd be crazy. All right, so that's it for today. Hope you had fun drawing, and I'll see you next time.